The Premier and Treasurer Lara Giddings admits it's been a terrible week. She should be focusing on budget black holes, but instead she's been trying to plug holes in an already stretched to the limit cabinet. Today she announced the third reshuffle since December, this time brought on by the loss of Lynn Thorpe in last week's upper house election and today's dramatic resignation of former Premier David Bartlett. The stressed-out Premier now has a cabinet of 8, a number of whom are inexperienced first-term members of Parliament.
Good morning. The last of the big crowds, I suspect.
David Bartlett this morning closed the door on his political career. It's forced the third cabinet reshuffle since December after Lynn Thorpe lost her seat in last weekend's Legislative Council election.
I'm really disappointed that I won't have the opportunity to personally advance the agenda for children and young people.
While Lynn Thorpe was pushed, David Bartlett has jumped.
Being in politics is a job that requires 110% passion and commitment to get up in the morning and keep doing it for many hours of the day. And that if I wasn't able to give at least that, I needed to question whether I should be there or not. And that's what I've done.
It's a far cry from his commitment 12 months ago when he formed a minority government, and even as recently as January when he relinquished the top job.
It is my intention to fulfil my contract with the people of Denison, but not to run at the next election.
Stepping down as Premier was prompted by a desire to spend more time with his family.
I've achieved that work-life balance in being Attorney-General and Minister for Justice.
At a meeting with the Premier, Lara Giddings, yesterday, it was widely anticipated he'd be asked to increase his workload.
Before she had finished the first sentence of talking about what her plans for her future cabinet were, I interrupted and suggested to her that I needed to tell her what was in my mind.
Mr Bartlett tried to put a positive spin on his decision to quit cabinet.
The thing about today is that Lara Giddings will now, as Premier, be able to create a cabinet that is hers, not one she's inherited from me.
The problem is there's slim pickings.
A 25-member House seems to be too small in order to run effective cabinet government. There has been a string of ministerial resignations, but if you think about this more broadly, it's quite normal to have a ministerial resignation or two during most parliaments. So we often seem to be back in this situation where we've got to appoint ministers that have got very limited parliamentary experience, and it's not desirable, and perhaps it's compromising the quality of government in Tasmania.
This afternoon, the Premier admitted it's been a terrible week.
And I'm not going to try to gloss over it.
Announcing her cabinet, Ms Giddings said it would harness the skills of existing ministers and introduce new talent.
I believe a Labor Green government remains the best hope for the future of our economy and our state.
A third member of the Tasmanian Greens has been promoted. After just a year in Parliament, Paul O'Halloran will become Parliamentary Secretary. Greens leader Nick McKim has been promoted to take on education, and recent cabinet appointee Brian Whiteman becomes Attorney General and Justice Minister. Health Minister Michelle O'Byrne will add the children